Chapter 7. Weather, Climate, and Adaptations of Animals. Lesson Preview. Weather. Elements of weather. Weather forecast. Climate. Climate and adaptation. Weather plays an important role in our daily lives. It changes almost every day. Many of our activities are planned according to the weather predicted for the day. You must have heard daily reports of the weather on television or read them in the newspapers. When the weather is cloudy, we carry an umbrella or raincoat. When the weather is cold, we wear woolens. We plan many of our daily activities based on the weather predicted for that day. We plan a picnic or a visit to a zoo on a cool, pleasant day. We even plan a trip to the hill station or holiday trip after taking into account the weather conditions of the place. Weather. A sample of the weather report given in a newspaper is shown alongside. The daily weather report provides information on the following facts. Maximum and minimum temperatures during the past 24 hours. Humidity. Rainfall. Time of sunset and sunrise. Time of moonrise and moonset. Prediction of weather for the present day. The weather reports are prepared by the meteorological department of the government. The person who studies weather is called a meteorologist. Atmospheric conditions at a place with respect to the daily changes in temperature, humidity, rainfall, atmospheric pressure, and wind conditions are called weather at that place. Temperature, wind speed, humidity, rainfall, etc. are called elements of weather. The weather of a place changes day after day and week after week. Elements of weather. Temperature. The maximum temperature of the day at a given place occurs usually in the afternoon as the earth gets heated by the sun. At night, sun rays do not fall on that place and the land cools down. The minimum temperature occurs early in the morning. Maximum and minimum thermometers are used to measure the maximum and minimum temperatures of a place. In India, the highest daytime temperatures occur in several places in the plains of North India and in the northwest, rising over 40 degrees Celsius. Humidity and rainfall. Humidity is measured by an instrument called the hygrometer. The higher the humidity, the more are the chances of rainfall. In India, rain is brought by two kinds of humidity-laden winds. These are the southwest monsoon, June to September, which brings heavy rains to most parts of the country, and the northeast monsoon, November to March, which brings relatively lighter rains. Winds. During the occurrence of southwest monsoon, humidity-laden winds from the Bay of Bengal and Indian Ocean bring rain to India. During winter, winds blow from mountains of North India towards the northern plains, creating very cold conditions. In summer, winds blow from hot desert of Rajasthan towards the plains, making the region very hot. Weather forecast. Weather has a big impact on our lives. Weather forecast is the prediction of the weather conditions for a place over a short period of time. Meteorologists use computer technology and data collected from satellites and earth stations to predict weather. It is helpful to us in many ways. It helps us to plan our daily activities. It helps people to prepare for bad weather. Rainfall is measured by an instrument called the rain gauge. It is like a measuring cylinder with a funnel on top to collect rainwater. The maximum and minimum temperatures are recorded daily. These temperatures are recorded with the help of special thermometers called maximum and minimum thermometers. The maximum temperature is generally recorded in the afternoon. The minimum temperature is usually recorded in the early morning. What causes changes in weather? All changes in weather are caused by the sun. The sun is the source of all energy received on the earth. The energy of the sun, which is absorbed and reflected by the Earth's surface, oceans, and the atmosphere, plays an important role in determining the weather at any place. The weather in the coastal areas is very different from that of a desert or a hilly region. Climate. There is a vast difference between the terms weather and climate. Weather describes the variations in the atmospheric conditions occurring day to day at any given place, whereas climate describes the long-term pattern of weather at any given place. The climate refers to the average weather pattern taken over a long period, about 25 years, for a particular place. Thus, we say that Kerala is humid, Bengaluru has a mild climate, Chennai is hot, Kashmir is snowy, and so on. The long-term average temperature for a given month is found as follows. The average of the temperatures of the month is recorded. Then the average of such monthly calculated temperatures gives the mean temperature. Table 7.2 Information about climate of Srinagar. Month. Mean temp, degrees Celsius. Daily minimum. Daily maximum. Mean total rainfall, Jan. minus 2.2. 5.0. 57. February. minus 0.7. 8.0. 65. Mar. 4.1. 14.0. 99. April. 8.0. 19.4. 88. May. 11.0. 24.5. 72. June. 15.5. 30.0. 37. July. 8.0. 29.2. 49. August. 18.0. 29.8. 70. September. 12.0. 27.8. 33. October. 6.0. 21.0. 36. November. 1.5. 14.9. 27. Dec. 1.6. 8.0. 43. Table 7.3 Information about climate of Chennai. Month. Mean temp, degrees Celsius. Daily minimum, daily maximum. Mean total rainfall, Jan. 19.0. 29.2. 20. February. 20.2. 31.2. 11. Mar. 19.8. 33.0. 05. April. 25.6. 35.5. 12. May. 28.2. 38.2. 50. June. 26.5. 37.8. 65. July. 26.0. 35.4. 100. August. 26.0. 35.0. 140. September. 25.4. 34.0. 140. October. 23.8. 32.1. 300. November. 22.1. 29.1. 400. Dec. 21.0. 29.2. 170. What do you infer from the two charts? It is seen that there is a large difference in the climate of Srinagar and Chennai. Srinagar is cold and wet during winters and is moderately hot and wet during summers. Chennai, on the other hand, is almost always hot and humid. Climate varies from region to region. The climatic data of Rajasthan, for instance, is hot and dry, which is a typical desert climate. There is very little rainfall in this region. The climate of northeastern part of our country is wet as it receives rainfall for a major part of the year. The factors that determine the climate of a place are distance from the equator, latitude, height from sea level. The more the altitude, the cooler it is. Distance from the sea or from high mountain ranges. Generally, coastal areas have a moderate climate, neither too hot nor too cold. Mountains influence winds and hence affect the climate. Nature of winds blowing in a region. Hot or cold winds dash their temperature and humidity, humid or dry. Amount of moisture, humidity, in the air. Climate and adaptation. In the previous class, you have learnt about adaptation. The climate varies from place to place. Animals are able to survive in conditions in which they live because of adaptation. Let us now study the effect of climate on animals living in the polar regions and the tropical rainforests in more detail. 1. Polar regions. As you know, polar regions include the regions around North Pole and the South Pole. These regions are generally covered with snow. The climate is very cold throughout the year. During winters, temperature is as low as 40 degrees Celsius. Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Alaska in USA, and Siberia in Russia are some of the well-known polar regions. Animals living in these regions have adapted themselves to the extreme cold conditions. These animals generally have a layer of fat under their skin to keep them warm. Let us study adaptation of animals in polar regions by considering the examples of polar bears and penguins. Polar bear. Some of the adaptations seen in the polar bear are: polar bear has two thick layers of white fur which keep it warm, thus it is not easily visible in the snowy background. As a result of the white fur, its predators and prey are unable to see it. It has a thick layer of fat called blubber under its skin that keeps it warm by insulating its body from the cold. It has long hair between the pads on its feet. This helps it to walk on ice without feeling cold. It has a strong sense of smell that helps it to locate the prey at a distance. It has flat and broad paws which help it not only swim well but also walk on snow with ease. It can close its nostrils during swimming and thus it can remain underwater for long periods. It has small ears that help it retain as much heat as possible. It hibernates during winters and lives on stored food. It has very sharp claws for grasping the ice and its prey. The polar bear also swims regularly to cool itself on warm days. It is a good swimmer. Penguins. Penguins spend most of their time in the icy waters of Antarctica. They have also adapted themselves to the climate. Penguins huddle together in groups to stay warm and fight enemies. Their white body merges well with the white background. Their feathers are densely packed with no gaps between them. They also have a lot of fat to protect them from cold. Penguins have a streamlined body and webbed feet. They have flat and flipper-like wings. These features help them in swimming. They also have very small ears which help them retain heat. Female penguins lay eggs and male penguins huddle together to protect the eggs from severe cold. Once the eggs are hatched, both parents feed the young ones. Other animals which live in the polar regions are reindeer, walrus, seal, caribou, muskox, fish, and birds. Migration. Birds which migrate to warmer places at the onset of winter season and come back after the winter is over are called migratory birds. You must have heard the names of Bharatpur in Rajasthan and Sultanpur in Haryana. These cities are famous for their bird sanctuaries where migratory birds can be seen. It is still a mystery how birds travel to the same place year after year. 2. The tropical rainforests. The tropical rainforests are located around the equator and are therefore hot. The temperature ranges between 15 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. Rainforests have a lot of rainfall and hence the name rainforests. Being near the equator, the day and night are almost equal. Tropical rainforests are found in Western Ghats and Assam in India, Southeast Asia, Central America, and Central Africa. This region supports a wide range of plants and animals because of the warm climate and humidity. Food is available in plenty and there is enough water to drink. Some animals found in these regions include elephants, rhinoceros, tigers, leopards, deer, monkeys, apes, gorillas, lizards, snakes, birds, and insects. Since a large number of birds, animals, and insects live in this region, there is fierce competition for food, water, and shelter. Adaptation for shelter. Many animals like the red-eyed frogs have sticky pads on their feet which help them to climb trees on which they live. Monkeys have long tails for grasping branches which help them to live on trees. Thus animals have adapted themselves to live on trees which give them shelter and hiding places from predators. Adaptation for food. As there is fierce competition for food, many animals have adapted themselves to a particular food which is not easily available to all animals. The best example is that of toucan bird. Its long and large beak helps it to reach the fruits attached to the ends of even thin branches of tree that are weak enough to support its weight. It is an adaptation of this bird to get the unreachable fruits. Birds with small beaks are unable to reach these fruits. Other adaptation measures include keen eyesight, a sharp sense of hearing, and thick skin. These animals have a skin color which helps them to camouflage themselves by blending with the surroundings. This helps them hide from prey and predators. Lion-tailed macaque, bearded ape, is found in the rainforests of Western Ghats. It has a unique feature of silver-white mane which surrounds the head from the cheeks down to its chin as in lions. It is a good climber. It lives mostly on trees and rarely comes down. It feeds mainly on fruits, seeds, young leaves, stems, flowers, and buds. It also eats insects found under the bark of the trees. Elephants, commonly found in Indian tropical rainforests, have the following adaptations. Large trunk. Elephant uses its trunk as a nose and has a strong sense of smell. It also uses its trunk for picking up food. Tusks. Tusks of the elephant are modified teeth. They are straight as curved ones may get caught in the branches. They can tear the bark of trees using their tusks and eat them. Large ears. Elephant has large ears which help it to hear even the slightest sound. They help it to remain cool in hot and humid weather as it can flap them to create a cooling effect.